Did you know there was a capital city that featured 20-lane highways but remains almost empty? And that Malaysia built 4 man-made islands that would house over 700,000 people, but it became a ghost town. Today we will explore some of the most useless mega projects in the world. Number 1. Burj Al Babas, the nightmare in a fairy tale. Before talking about the ghost town, just take a look at it. Nested in the heart of Turkey, this once promising luxury housing development generated international attention for its unique architecture. However, fate had different plans for this project. The story of Burj Al Babas begins in the early 2010, where a group of investors and property developers saw an opportunity. Among them were the Sarat groups, which had already built 2 thermal spring hotels in the area. Sarat went big with its next idea. Burj Al Babas, a collection of luxurious holiday homes catering to wealthy Arab clients. The concept was ambitious to build a community of fairy tale-like villas, reminding of medieval village. The project promised to offer luxury amenities such as a luxury Turkish bath, a shopping and entertainment center, and more. Construction started in 2014 and these miniature castles started to take a shape. Around 587 of the villas were made at that time. But as the saying goes, not all fairy tales have happy endings. When the financial disaster struck in 2018, that also hit Turkey and the region, affecting the real estate market and the ability of potential buyers to invest in such properties. And to make matters worse, at that time, Turkey's economy was already going through a rough patch. Now it seems like Burj Al Babas has become a different kind of tourist draw. Budget for it was around $200 million, but now the company behind the project has around $27 million in debt. It remains to be seen whether the project will rise from its ashes and become the luxury heaven it was once meant to be. Number 2. Naypyidaw, Myanmar. Naypyidaw, once referred to as the Palace of Kings, is the new capital city of Myanmar. Well, in 2005, the military government of Myanmar decided to shift the capital from Yangon to Naypyidaw. Myanmar is not the first country to shift its capital. Many countries, including Brazil, Egypt, and Pakistan, has done it in the past. The reasons for this sudden shift of capitals are still not clear, but the assumptions are that Myanmar needed a new capital because of Yangon's heavy traffic and population density. But some analysts have described that the shift was motivated by a desire to secure military seat of power from any threat of protest or invasions. There are also some rumors that it was shifted on the advice of an astrologer. But the most practical one might be the problems of Yangon. Yangon is home to 7 million people and the city is said to have reached its limits. Its population is set to double by 2050. Because of that, many government officials and foreign diplomats were required to relocate to Naypyidaw, which affected their personal lives and daily routines. Naypyidaw's construction required many diverting funds, and to this date, the successive governments have poured around $4 billion into the city. On paper, Naypyidaw had everything to attract visitors. A 20-lane highway, over 100 luxury hotels divided into 3 hotel districts, and even a 99-meter tall replica of a landmark originally situated in Yangon. But as I said, it had all only on papers, as there is no one to enjoy all this. The population. Even in 2023, the new capital has less than 1 million residents, most of which resides in the suburbs that were there before the capital changed. For comparison, the city spans over 7,000 square kilometers, making it larger than the New York City, but New York's population is around 8.8 million. But why no one wants to live there? Despite its size, Naypyidaw suffers from a lack of basic infrastructure for a capital city. There are limited public transportation options and the city's overall layout can be confusing for visitors. The city's establishment was centered around government institutions and military facilities, leaving few openings for diverse industries and businesses. As a result, job prospects are very limited. Hotel lobbies are empty, shopping malls are visited only by the diplomatic staff, and the incredible 20-lane highway is practically empty. But what makes it different from the other projects on this list is exploding population, due to which Naypyidaw can still bounce back and become the city it was once meant to be. Number 3. The tallest abandoned building in the world. A record that no country wants to hold, a world record for the world's tallest unoccupied building, the Golden Nines 117. When completed, it was going to be China's third and the world's 6th tallest skyscraper ever built, but today it is only occupied by the daredevils on YouTube. The Golden Finance Tower, standing tall at around 2000 feet, is not only an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of China's rapid urban development. This gleaming skyscraper was designed by the P&D Group and is a seamless blend of traditional Chinese symbolism with some futuristic design elements. But what's truly fascinating is its unique design choices, inspired by a jade disc, a symbol of eternity in Chinese culture. The tower's distinct diamond-shaped crown not only pays homage to this symbolism but also reflects the city's aspiration to stand timeless and powerful. The Golden Finance 117 was meant to be the centerpiece of Golden Metropolitan just outside of downtown Tianjin. The diamond-shaped crown also included swimming pool, restaurant, and the world's highest observation deck. Construction of the tower began in 2008 and with a completion in 2014. But in the early 2010, construction work on the tower was suspended, and when the market finally established from the global financial crisis, construction was resumed. And the skyscraper now was scheduled to open in 2018. But this story doesn't have an happy ending. In June 2015, the Chinese stock market crashed, and the Golden share prices fell close to 67%, and the chairman of Golden himself lost as much as $13 billion. Number 4. Forest City, Malaysia. This is Malaysia's 100 billion city, promised to be a living paradise. Built by the Chinese property developer Country Garden Group in 2015, Forest City is located in Johor Bahru at the southern edge of Malaysian Peninsula, and it will build on 4 artificial islands and will be around an artificial forest ecosystem. Due to its proximity from the independent city-state of Singapore, it would catch a lot of eyes from domestic and foreign investors. The developers have already linked Forest City with Singapore through the second link bridge, shortening the distance between the cities. According to the website, it is much more than a private luxury city. It will be a smart and green city that combines environment and cutting-edge technology to create an ideal and technologically driven living and working space ecosystem. The project's master plan includes the following elements: green areas on rooftops, providing a jungle experience, employment for everyone. Forest City expects to generate around 220,000 jobs in the area. The city will be powered exclusively with renewable energy and will be completed by 2035 with a budget of around $100 billion. The project is being funded mainly through China, and Chinese residents have free pass to the city on the first year of its construction. And as the prices of apartments in their own country were touching the sky, the wealthy people rushed to the Forest City. And as a result, by 2019, 80% of the property owners were Chinese. Even the few schools that opened in the area were in Mandarin. The property prices were set to attract mainly Chinese markets, and as a result, the native Malaysians simply can't afford to buy these apartments. Because of the discrimination, there was a public outcry for the project. So after a change of leadership, the returning Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad banned foreigners from owning properties in the Forest City. And because of this policy, many foreigners started leaving the city and new investors were discouraged. And when the pandemic hit in 2020, Malaysia's movement control order meant that no new investors could move in. So the Forest City was designed for 700,000 people, but by the start of 2020, there were only 500 people living in it. With some claims that in Forest City, fewer than 10 homes were sold at since the start of the pandemic. In my personal opinion, the Forest City was just too politically challenged to succeed.